Hi, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Mather Park on the campus of Case Western Reserve University for today's University Athletic Association doubleheader with the host team, the Spartans of Case Western, and the Eagles of Emory from Atlanta, Georgia, coming into town to play 4 games against the Spartans. Ron Yance and Sarzucci along with you as always from Mather Park for Case softball, and what a season it has been to date. The Spartans come into today 20 wins and 2 losses. They are ranked number 6 in the country in Division III, and they are riding a winning streak, which is now 13 games. Fast Eddie? I'm looking at Fast Eddie. It's 11. All right, he's corrected me. The first of many for the afternoon. Emory Eagles come in 16-9. They are 2-3 in conference play. And in game 1 of this 4-game series on Friday afternoon yesterday, the Spartans won 9-2. And the woman on the mound, Lexi Miskey, was on the mound yesterday, and Lexi was outstanding. She threw in the 5 innings that she pitched, gave up just 1 hit. She struck out 6. She walked 2, and that 1 hit was a 2-run first inning home run. And that was it. She was amazing. Her changeup was outstanding as well. At the plate, little drag bunt, and I think that hit the runner out of the box. And they're going to call her out if it did, and that's exactly what they've done. So turning and dragging was Ashley Chu, and Ashley got it down, but it rolled over her foot as she was leaving the box, and she was in the field of play. Now, India Childs, the head coach of the Emory Eagles, is arguing the play at home plate, and if there's anybody with the stature that can argue this, it's Childs. India was a great slap hitter, drag bunter for the Volunteers of Tennessee, and she was outstanding, and she knows exactly what she's talking about. So they're going to confer, the home plate umpire and the 2 base umpires, and they'll make a decision on whether they'll stay with the call as Chu being out, or if they'll call it just a foul ball and they'll bring Chu back to the plate. So let's set the defense for Case while we've got the moment. Stevie Rieger's in center field, or left field actually, the senior. In center field, it's Kella Jagoda. Jagoda is senior, and they'll stick with the out. So the runner is out. Ashley Chu is out for the first out of the inning. In right field, it's Nyla Durham, the first-year player for the Spartans. In the infield, from left to right at third base, it's Biz Berry, the sophomore. Karen Potts, the first-year shortstop. Kai Gross, the senior at second base, and the junior Bella Russo at first. Behind the plate, it's Caitlin Lamb. Lamb, a junior, and on the mound, her fellow junior mate, Lexi Miskey. At the plate is Paige Nellis. And that's a fastball high for ball 1.
And the Spartans, like they did yesterday, they gave up that home run in the first inning. They want to go 3 up, 3 down here in the first inning. It's a quick out on Chu, and they want to get some of these top hitters out so Lexi Miskey can start as fast as she did for most of the game yesterday.
Sar mentioned top hitters, and you need to look no further than the first 2 batters in this Emory Eagles lineup. Chu, who was out with the bunt, is hitting .537. Nellis, who's up right now, is hitting .486. And if there's an offensive category on the Eagles' stat sheet, the 2 leaders are one of those 2.
And it's a team that overall is hitting .365 on the year, but yesterday that number significantly dropped. They only had 2 hits in the entire game. So Lexi Miskey and, of course, Deb Misser are closing it out at the very end, having a great day for the Spartans defensively.
It dropped 10 percentage points. It was .375 going into Friday afternoon's game. Miskey with the changeup that was super awesome yesterday, and that one just absolutely froze Paige Nellis. You know, I was speaking briefly with Lexi before the game, and I complimented her on her changeup yesterday, and I told her I thought it was the best that I had seen in the 2.5 years now that I've been doing these Spartans games, and it matches Miskey's, career here at Case Western. And she just smiled and said thank you, and she said, I'm trying to be like Hosey, is what she said. And there's a changeup to start with strike 1. Kylie Hosey, who we'll see in game 2 today. Kylie's best pitch is her changeup. They are completely 2 different pitchers, Miskey and Hosey. Miskey, the power pitcher, Hosey, the finesse pitcher. And Miskey is going to be so much better with that changeup that she's worked so hard on. This is a foul ball that will go out of play.
Yeah, and you mentioned we got a strikeout from Paige Nellis, got her looking on that changeup. That was only her second strikeout on the season, in this her 71st at-bat. So that's a talented batter that you're dealing with as Lexi Miskey, and the confidence to go to that changeup to get that final strike is something that we're seeing this year that we didn't see before.
So here's Ellie Zaire at the plate right now, and Ellie, in the first inning a day ago, hit a 2-run home run. Miskey really wound up on that one. That reminds me of the Bull Durham scene where Nuke LaLoosh hits the bull. He throws so wild that he hits the bull. If there was a bull on the backstop here, or a Spartan, let's say, Miskey would have hit the Spartan with that pitch. Every now and then, you've got to do that as a pitcher. I'm serious. You got to throw a little wild every now and then. You don't let the hitter just, dig in, especially if you've got a hitter who a day ago hit a 2-run shot off of you. And Zier yesterday just smoked it over the Mather Park sign in left center field.
And the only player to get a hit off of Miskey yesterday, and she would love to retire her to start this one.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top half of the first. And here comes Miskey's pitch. That was tempting, but laid off. It's ball 3.
That's the pitch we've seen her get so many strikeouts on. Instead of that changeup, she's gone to that high rise ball, trying to get these hitters to chase.
Beautiful day here today on the campus of Case Western. Blue skies, sunshine, a little bit of breeze, and the temperature's much warmer than yesterday. And that is high for ball 4. So Lamb and Miskey both thought they had strike 3. Home plate umpire thinks differently, and his opinion is the only one that matters.
That's right.
Ella Hoyle will now step to the plate. Hoyle, the first baseman for the Eagles of Emory. Emory 16 wins, 9 losses. And Hoyle swings at a fastball at strike 1. If you look at the standings going into today, Washington University won yesterday, so they're 3-2, and they're in second place. The Spartans are 5-0. Emory falls a game behind Wash U with the loss. They're 2-3, but Wash U's got 14 wins, Emory's got 16 wins, and you throw Case's 20 in, and those are the top teams in the UAA. Those are overall wins.
And this is an Emory team that we mentioned it yesterday, was successful against the Spartans down in Atlanta last year. The last 2 conference losses that the Spartans had were last season against this Emory team.
Miskey at 0-2. And the tempting rise ball, Hoyle laid off. It's funny, that pitch right there, speaking with India Childs, and they're going to check to see if Hoyle went. She did not. I was talking to India about slap hitting before the game, and she said, she became a slap hitter while she was at Tennessee. After her freshman season, they told her if she wants to get on the field more, and they want her on the field more, they'd like her to switch to the left side and become a slap hitter. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch, and that's the changeup, and it freezes the hitter, and that is strike 3. We'll continue the story on Childs when we have the right moment. So 2 strikeouts in the top of the first inning for Miskey. We head to the bottom of the first, and the game scoreless. Welcome to the bottom half of the first. Spartans coming to bat for the first time today on a sun-splashed Mather Park early afternoon. Kella Jagoda will lead it off for Case Western. And Jagoda on the year, batting .324 from her leadoff spot. Jagoda, the center fielder, the senior. One of three seniors in Josie Henry's starting lineup. You've got Jagoda in center, you've got Rieger in the left, and you've got Kai Gross at second base. This is Bach on the mound for Emory, and that's ball one, her first pitch. Lexi Bach on the season. This is her 12th appearance. She has pitched 47 innings for the Eagles so far this season. Second pitch is low and outside. It's ball two. Sar, I have heard that you have taken, it depends on the moment, but anywhere between several conducting classes at Case Western Reserve to maybe one. Fast Eddie Carrick has started by promoting that you had taken several conducting classes. And the 2-0 pitch is outside for ball three, and then he hedged his bet a little bit. He said, well, maybe it's one, I think. So, first of all, let's start with, have you taken a conducting class?
I have. I'm in my second this semester.
Okay, you're second. All right. And do you know the great composer, Bach, who shares
Oh,
the...
yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. All right. And what is the full name of that composer?
Johannes Sebastian Bach.
Very nice. Very nice. Everybody clap for, yeah, Sarzucci.
Thank you.
Yes. So this is Bach on the mound, Lexi. And that's a changeup that was outstanding on a 3-0 pitch, or 3-1 pitch. The count's now full on Jagoda. Kella on the year has walked 15 times. She is the team leader in drawing a base on balls. There will be more music questions for you, for you. Ground ball up the middle, nice play by the second baseman, but Jagoda's on with a base hit. So that's an infield single for Kella Jagoda to start the top half or the bottom half of the first inning.
It's something that a lot of these Spartan players are good at doing. If they can place some of these hits away from second base, and sometimes even you get it in that hole between third and short, even if it stays in the infield, they have the speed to beat any chance of a throw getting over to first, and that was a great example of it.
This is Potts at the plate, the first-year shortstop for the Spartans. Karen has been nothing short of sensational in the first 22 games for Case Western. Jagoda's on at first. That's a fly ball to the gap in left center field. It's off the wall. Jagoda rounds second. She's headed to third, and Potts is in with a stand-up double.
Yeah, that's huge for her. Didn't have a hit yesterday for just the second time on the season. So for Karen Potts to go after it early in the count, too, and just swing and let it go, it's great to see her back on base. The Spartans love that.
You know, if you're a hitter, you go to every plate appearance with a plan. You've got to have a hitting plan every time you go up to the plate. And because Potts, as you said, Sar, went hitless yesterday, something she's not used to, I'm guessing if we asked her, Karen, were you going up looking for one pitch and seeing that pitch and driving it immediately? She'd probably answer yes, and she got it, and she's standing at second base. So 2 on, nobody out. Here's the number 3 hitter in the lineup for the Spartans. It's Kai Gross. And that's a fastball on the outside part of the plate for strike one. We want to give a shout out right now as Kai comes to the plate to her mom and dad, because as I walked into Mather Park today and I was coming up to the press box, they shouted out to me, Eric and Lily Gross. They said, "Hey Ron, come over here for a second. We've got something for you." They had a dozen donuts, not just for me, for the entire press box, because it would be hard for me to eat 12 donuts all by myself. I would try, Otto Penica, the public address announcer and the Hall of Famer here in the press box with us. But so thank you to Kai's mom and dad as the 1-1 pitch is outside for ball 2. Eric and Lily for bringing the press box a dozen donuts on an early Saturday afternoon. I don't know that we have many left. Well, actually, we've got 7 of the 12 left. Let's go. Kai Gross, fly ball, fading out, and it falls short. Everybody tagged up. They thought it would be an out. It falls short of the outfielders. I think it got hung up in the sky in the wind a little bit and fell short of where they thought it was going to land. And Kai Gross is in with a double.
Yeah, it's not as windy as it was yesterday, but you can see those flags dead center. There is still a decent breeze going. Maybe the combination of that, the sun, potentially even a miscommunication out there, that's a play that's going to hurt Emory, especially if the Spartans get really in a rhythm in this first inning. It'll go back to how that second inning played out for them yesterday. 6 runs then.
1 in, 2 on, nobody out. And here's your cleanup hitter, Rieger. Stevie takes strike 1. Stevie Rieger on the season leads the team in hitting. She's the only Spartan hitting above 400. She's hitting 413. 26 hits, 63 at-bats. And of those 26 hits, 10 are for extra bases. Second pitch, changeup, she laid off of it, and it's low for a ball. Rieger's got 3 home runs, and that is the team lead, tied with Kai Gross, who's standing at second base.
On top of that, gets on base the second most of anybody on this team, so potential to even just load the bases as they get into a lineup that seems to never get weaker.
Inside pitch, Rieger turns on it deep to left field. It's caught in left field, and tagging and scoring from third is Karen Potts, and throwing it in is Ashley Chu for the Emory Eagles. It held up a little bit. She hit that, turned on it, hit it pretty hard, and it did not go that deep. So it's a sac fly with an RBI for Stevie Rieger.
Now batting, number 11, Bella Russo.
Yeah, and because it kind of fell for her, for Chu in left field, held up Kai Gross at second as well.
So Gross remains at second, and this is Bella Russo, the junior first baseman. Russo with an off-speed pitch. It's strike 1. Bach on the season. This is her 10th start. She's appeared 12 times in the circle, and she started 10 of those 12. Counts 0-2 on Bella Russo. In her 47 innings coming into today, she has struck out 23 and walked 19. If you look at the innings pitched, she is second on the team only to Mackenzie Duford, who we saw on Friday's game. The 0-2 pitch, low, and going to be out at third was Gross, but the throw was not handled at third base by Emory's Sonia Klein. And Kai Gross is in sliding, and she's safe. And she is out by 10 feet if that ball is caught.
That's right. I think that ball actually hit her off the glove of Klein as well.
Is that the record, Eddie? No. Well, not yet.
So Gross with a stolen base. She'll take him any way she can get him. Good throw, bad throw, caught ball or not. For Kai, that is her 13th stolen base in 15 attempts. Counts 1-2 on Russo. Here comes Bach's pitch. Ground ball, first base. Play at the plate. Nice throw. Beautiful tag. And out at home is Kai Gross. What a play and a decision by Ella Hoyle, the sophomore first baseman. Hoyle went to her backhand, set up perfectly to throw a strike to the plate. She did. Lillian Ware caught it, tagged Gross, and that's a big out, the second out at the plate in the inning for the Eagles.
Yeah, and I'm honestly surprised that Gross went for it. I know she likes to chase a couple of these, stolen bases and extra plays because of her speed that she's able to do. But with that ball being played so tight into the infield, you would expect them to just be able to take that force at first, leave Gross on third, and wait for a better chance on a base hit.
Those plays, when you're the runner at third, it's such a bang-bang thing. You have to make your decision immediately on contact and then live with it. It's just you've got to go. If you're going to go, you got to go.
That's right.
Counts 1-0 on Biz Berry, the third baseman for the Spartans. 2 outs. And that's Russo at first. Barry fouls it back.
And that may have been a decision as well, with Coach Henry standing right there at third base, that if Russo makes contact on this, you're gone, Kylie Gross. So potentially even just having that in the back of her mind already.
Great play by Hoyle. I mean, just a
Really
super strong throw to the plate. So the count's 1 ball, 1 strike. There are 2 outs, and the Spartans have 2 runners in here in the bottom half of the first. Box offering.
And Hoyle has had a great series so far. Had a great day defensively last night, a couple unassisted plays at first. And she's continued that here today so far.
Well, Karen Potts kept her busy all by herself. Potts, the second hitter in the Spartans lineup, had 3 ground balls to Hoyle. One was an absolute laser shot that Ella made a real nice play on. Actually, the ball was behind her, and she stayed with it, caught it, and got Potts out at first base. Otherwise, it's a double, maybe a triple down the right field line. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners in for Case Western. And Bach looking for the 3rd out of the inning right here on this pitch. Ground ball, fly ball. Actually, that was a line drive. Try one, and you'll get it right. And it's a single into left field. Biz Berry sitting on that pitch. So runners at first and second. 2 outs, Caitlin Lamb. Lamb had a nice day yesterday behind the plate for Miskey. And then Misra at the end.
And Lamb had a double yesterday as well. She scored once. Her pinch runners scored for her as well. If she can get a base hit here, they might be able to add another one with Russo standing on second.
Well, that double drove in 2 runs. Spartans had a couple of big innings yesterday. They scored 6 in the second. And actually, that was the only big one, but they scored 2 more in the 4th. They had an opportunity in that 4th to have a much bigger inning. No balls, 1 strike on the right-handed hitting catcher for the Spartans. Box ready, and here comes Lexi's pitch. It's fastball outside. It's called for a strike. The strike zone has been very liberal, I think, in the first 2 days, especially on the outside part of the right-handed batter or the left-handed batter, depending on who's up. And I was talking to someone before the game about, actually the conversation came up as the next pitch is low and outside. The count's now 1-2. The conversation came up because of a call at the end of the women's Final Four game last night with UConn and Iowa. The foul called on UConn, the blocking foul, the illegal screen, however you want to put it. And I took the conversation to if an official or an umpire is consistent in their calls, whether it's a low strike, if you're consistently calling a low strike the whole game, then that's the way it should be. Pop up that should end the inning, and it does. Grace Cooper, the shortstop, settles under it, and we head to the top half of the second. The score, Case Western 2, the Emory Eagles nothing. Grace Cooper will lead off the inning for the Eagles of Emory. We're in the top of the second from Mather Park. Spartans up 2-0. This is Miskey on the mound, pitching to Lamb. And the first pitch sends Caitlin Lamb towards her own dugout. I'll give you a donut update. The Gross family gave us a dozen donuts, Eric and Lely. And to my left here in the practice box is a football player, Nick Petruzzi. Nick's a long snapper on the football team, and he's a guard also on the offensive line. And he had been tempted but was strong in his discipline, in his off-season training program, to stay away from the donuts. But his discipline lasted just one short inning. And he has hammered a cream-filled, chocolate-iced covered donut. And it's just the first. There's another one in there. I know this for a fact. And the Vegas odds right now, Sarzucci called Las Vegas, and they said the Vegas odds on whether Petruzzi's going to hit that second cream-filled, chocolate-iced donut are 3-1. So that means, Nick, you're probably going to eat it. And you're more than welcome to, and we hope that you do. The over-under on Nick's donuts for the whole day, there are 7 left, actually 6 left, because he just ate one. So the over-under, what do you think, 4?
I was going to give him 2.5.
2.5. In the meantime, Miskey is down 3-1. Now it's a full count. The pitch to Grace Cooper, the shortstop for the Emory Eagles. Cooper yesterday, 0 for 3 from the plate. Grace on the season, strong hitter for Coach Childs. She's a .347 hitter in 25 games, and that's ball 4. So Miskey with her second walk to match 2 strikeouts.
This Emory team has got to find any way to get on base. Only Paige Nellis and Ellie Zaire had hits yesterday. They had just 2 walks overall over the course of the game. I know they've gotten a couple here early, and they really need to capitalize on some of these opportunities because you don't get a lot of players on base against Lexi Miskey. So when you do, you've got to make something happen.
Miskey yesterday had 6 strikeouts in 5 innings, gave up only 1 hit. And to Sar's point, walked just 2 batters. So that was 3 Eagles that got on base in 5 innings. Sonia Klein is at the plate for Emory. Klein, the third baseman. Sonia yesterday 0 for 3. There were only 2 players in that Eagle lineup yesterday that got a hit, Paige Nellis and Ellie Zaire. Ellie's was a 2-run home run in the first inning, and that's fouled straight back for strike 2. Nellis got a hit off Misra late in the game. Dev Misra pitched in the 6th inning yesterday. Did a nice job. It's a doubleheader today, so unless Miskey and Hosey both pitch complete games, we'll probably see Yaklich or Misra at some point again today. That 0-2 pitch, the rise ball high. It's the perfect pitch to throw in an 0-2 count, especially if you can place it like Miskey. Throw that rise ball, because in the batter's eyes, coming out of the hand of the pitcher, it looks like a strike level pitch, and then it just gets out of control by the time it gets to the catcher. That's inside, tied the hitter up, and that's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Miskey. So Klein's down, and there's 1 out of the inning. Now, Eddie, is it a called 3rd strike, or did that home plate umpire actually think that she swang on it? Because she checked it pretty good. I'd like to really know. You're going to say swinging strike. Well, that's what we're going to mark it as. And Eddie is the knower of all things here at Mather Park. He is the official that makes the decision on everything, including what we will have to eat in between Game 1 and Game 2 here. Now, I had put in an order for steak and lobster yesterday. Otto wanted Chinese food. We'll see where Eddie went. That storyline will continue. Since you have Tim Farrell here today, who's the overall sports information director of the entire University Athletic Association, I would think, Eddie, that you'd have a good line of food, just to impress Tim. And we could be the beneficiaries of that, Tim presentation. 2-0 pitch, runner going, and safe at second base is Grace Cooper.
And I'm not sure the Spartans were totally ready for that stolen base opportunity. It looked like Potts was getting to second as a reaction, and it looked like Lamb was just reacting to the runner too. So that's a good time by Coach India Childs to call that up to get your runner advancing to second. Again, have not had that so far in this series. So to have a runner in scoring position could help get Emory going a little bit.
1 out, 3-0 pitch. On its way. And that is a strike to Kayla Lang. Lang had a walk yesterday. She also had a strikeout in 3 plate appearances. And that's a high pitch for ball 4. So Cooper walked. Lang has now walked. A strikeout in between. So there's 1 out, 2 runners on for Lillian Ware. Ware, the catcher. Lillian on the year, 292 at the plate. She's got 10 runs batted in with 19 hits.
And this would be a situation I wouldn't be surprised to see a bunt. Try and get a runner advancing to third.
Well, I've got to believe that Coach Childs, who's in the third base coaching box, has told Ware, you're not swinging until you get a called strike on you. Because Miskie's walked 2 of 3. They don't need to swing at something that they're going to help her out on.
And that seems to be what they're going to right here. It's a 2-0 count now, and Miskie's got to do something different. Maybe go back to that changeup here.
Yesterday, Miskey walked just 2 batters in 5 innings. She's got 2 here in the second inning. She had a walk in the first as well. And there's a pitch, and that's an infield fly. It's an out regardless of what happens. And I'm very surprised that Ware was swinging. But she was, and it's the second out of the inning. Seekoff at the plate, the number 9 hitter in this Emory lineup. Seekoff, the right fielder. Seekoff on the season, hitting .250 in 32 plate appearances. Seekoff batting out of the left side of that batter's box. Showed drag, pulled it back. Almost got hit with the pitch.
Now, that one was really tight, and that might be one of those pitches Lexi Miskey will go back and reset herself.
Karen Potts doing a real nice job right now at shortstop as her third baseman, Biz Berry, sells out on whatever Seekoff may or may not do at the plate. Potts is doing a great job of covering third and keeping that runner from going from second to third. A lot of times if you're the hitter in this situation, your responsibility is trying to draw that third baseman in so you can advance the runner. But Potts has taken that opportunity away. In the meantime, the showing of the bunt has seemed to bother Lexi Miskey, and the count's 3-0. So if a walk happens here, the bases are loaded for the top of the lineup for the Emory Eagles. And those first 2 hitters in that Emory lineup, you do not want to face. Next pitch, it's high for ball 4. Oh, late strike. Boy, that was the Oscar award-winning, dramatically filled late call on a strike.
And I think Seekoff thought it was a ball, too. She started to toss that bat for just a moment.
An important pitch here. It is strike 2. So if Miskey can battle back with one more strike after the challenging inning that she's had, this will be a huge confidence builder. Count's full. Runners will be going. 2 are out. And fighting it off and surviving to live for another at bat is Seekoff. Miskey has thrown 3 strikes in a row. Can she get the 4th? Boy, credit Seekoff with battling right now.
Yeah, that's a long at bat. That's something you want against Lexi Miskey. You have to figure at some point the way she's played in this inning, too. If you're from the Emory perspective, you're going to wait and get her to throw one of these outside. As long as you don't chase, you'll get the bases loaded, as you mentioned, with the top of the lineup coming up.
The 3-2 pitch. Little flare. Potts is there, and so is Biz Berry. Berry got it in the sun, and the inning is over. Lexi Miskey with a big exhale and a smile on her face. We head to the bottom of the second. It's Case Western 2, the Emory Eagles nothing. Bottom half of the second inning here from Mather Park. Case Western trying to win their 21st game of the season. They are 20-2. A perfect 5-0 in University Athletic Association play. Stepping in, the designated player today, number 25, Elena Steffes. Bach on the mound, Steffes at the plate. And that's a fastball for strike 1. Elena yesterday had a hit, scored a run in 3 at-bats.
Yeah, and she's had a great role this season as she's stepped into this regular rotation in the lineup, getting on base over 50% of the time.
A little bit taken off that pitch, and Steffes didn't have the swing on it that she wanted. Counts 0-2. Steffes on the year hitting nearly 400, 379 in her 18th game. And another off-speed pitch, and Elena stays alive for one more. You could see about halfway to the plate, she had reset herself in the batter's box. That's the mystery and challenge of the changeup. Bach doing a nice job mixing up her pitches. Threw one up there to see if Elena would go for it. She did not, and the count's 1-2.
That's one of those you mentioned earlier. Sometimes you got to be a little wild, and with nobody on base, this is the time to do it.
Spartans with 4 hits. All 4 in the first inning. They scored 2 runs. Steffes waited again. Elena waited on an off-speed pitch. That was a great piece of hitting. Frankly, she was fooled in 2 strikes, but that third time, she just was patient, waited, and hit a line drive to left field. Brings Nyla Durham, the first-year right fielder, to the plate. Nyla started yesterday for Coach Henry in right field. Durham, the number 9 hitter in Coach Henry's lineup. And she's going to hit. First pitch is a strike.
She's only hitting 172 on the year, so you would potentially expect a bunt here. Maybe going to let her go for one with no outs here.
Well, Bach did a great job of throwing a fastball that was moving in hard and tight on Durham, the hitter. That may be the toughest pitch to get fair. At that point, you're almost in self-protection mode. You know, the hitter often will not give up their intention early. And if you're Durham now does, but it's an 0-2 pitch. She's not going to bunt here. She'll pull back and swing away. But those corner infielders are paying more attention to a batter's hands in bunt situations than they are anything else, because that's where the tell is. You know, like Sar, when you're playing poker on a Friday night with all your friends here on campus, they're trying to figure out what your tell is. You know, what the Sar scratches his nose when he's bluffing, or the 0-2 pitch is swung on and it's strike three. So the runner stays at first and Steffes, and Durham's down swinging. Otto, you've played many games of poker with Sarzucci, my partner. What is his tell? Or do you not want to identify that you know? That way you can continue to take $20 bills every Friday night from Sarzucci. Oh, Otto says you scratch your right cheekbone.
Number 15, Jagoda.
Sar's not giving it up. He's not saying if that's his. He probably doesn't even know what his tell is. Jagoda at the plate, the leadoff hitter for the Spartans. Case is up 2-0. Steffes is on at first base, and Elena on the season as far as stealing is concerned. She's had a couple of good secondary leads. She's 2 of 2. So when she decides to go, she's successful. Second pitch is high and outside again. The count's 2-0 on Jagoda.
One thing that Coach Henry is so good at doing is timing when to get her players to steal. They're going to try and get this count up a little bit and then maybe let Steffes go for one.
Box got the pitch selection, and here it comes. The count's 2-0. Little slap, and that's a single to left field. Nice job of hitting. Jagoda got the pitch she wanted in a count that favored her, the hitter. And the Spartans have runners at first and second.
And it brings up Karen Potts, too. So this is huge. With only one out, you have 2 runners on, and now you're in the toughest part of your lineup, and the part of your lineup that's sent in the most runs. The Spartans have a chance already with 6 hits to really expand on this lead.
Box starts Potts with a off-speed pitch, and I am certain that was 100% on purpose, because the last thing you want to do to her, if she's looking fastball, sitting dead red, is throw her one.
Yeah, and that's what she got in the first inning, when she was up to bat. She got her hit. As you mentioned, Ron, she was just sitting on a pitch, especially after going 0 for 4 yesterday.
Carefully, they will pitch to Karen Potts. But here it's like pick your poison. You walk Potts, and you load the bases, and then you've got the number 1 RBI leader on this Spartan team coming up next in Kai Gross.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't get any easier, so you have to make a decision. Bach got the 1 strikeout a few moments ago.
That's going to be a base hit. And holding wisely at third base is Steffes. Potts not trying to do too much, just takes it and rolls the wrist over and knocks a single between second and first. So the bases are loaded for Kai Gross. And on a day when her mom and dad gifted us in the press box with a dozen of donuts, Eric and Lily, wouldn't it be fitting if Kai Gross comes up with a big hit and we'll all eat a donut in honor of Kai Gross? I think Tim Farrell will even eat a donut, and he is a very disciplined man right now as far as giving up sweets. But I think he'll sacrifice his commitment to celebrate Kai Gross. Counts 0-1. Pressure is on Kai Gross. She doesn't even know it, but the pressure is really on her in this at-bat. Swings at a fastball outside the strike zone. Maybe she did know it. That's why she swung at the bad pitch. So the senior, who has seen everything in the batter's box in her 4 years here at Case Western, is facing an 0-2 count with the bases loaded. Smart pitch by Bach.
Yeah, tried to get her to chase back to back. Kai Gross has been around for a long time. She's seen a lot. Certainly has seen a lot of that.
Kai likes to swing. She has only 4 walks in 22 games. The 1-2 pitch. And Bach has the luxury, starting her out 0-2, to do that on the last 2 pitches. I mean, she got Gross to swing at an outside one. The next 2 were a little bit more outside, progressively. Now the count's even. Everybody's standing equal.
Kai Gross also with only 4 strikeouts on the season as well, so she's certainly a smart hitter.
One hopper to second, plays at the plate, force out at home, and a real nice play there by Kayla Lang with the catch and throw to Lillian Ware.
Now batting number 20, Stevie.
So the bases remain loaded as Gross is on at first on the fielder's choice, but out at the plate is Steffes. And there are now 2 outs for Stevie Rieger. So we will not celebrate with a donut. We'll have to wait. Box pitch with some movement away from the bat of Stevie Rieger. In Stevie's eyes, that looked like a fastball coming right down Main Street. But by the time it got to the plate, by the time it got to Lillian Ware, it was in the left-handed batter's box. Beautiful movement from Bach. The 0-1 pitch, this one stayed true. Just blew it by Rieger. So if you're Bach, you're feeling pretty confident right now. And if you're Rieger, you're saying to yourself, listen, I've got one more swing.
And she drove in 2 runs on a bases loaded single yesterday. Has a chance to do the same thing here today, and I'm sure she's comfortable in this sort of situation.
Pitch, low and outside, ball 1. In this situation, with the way that Rieger missed those first 2 pitches, I'm reminded Eddie Murray, the Hall of Fame left-handed hitter, mostly for the Baltimore Orioles, played in Cleveland near the end of his career. And I had a chance to cover Murray, and he told me once that oftentimes he would make himself look ridiculous on the first 2 pitches in order to tempt the pitcher to think that he had Murray and throw him one more, and then Eddie said, I'd hit it over the fence. Rieger doesn't go over the fence here. She hits a pop-up in the infield, and that's going to end the inning. Pop-up to Kayla Lang, and we head to the top of the 3rd. It's Spartans 2, Eagles nothing. Ashley Chu, the top of the order, is going to step to the batter's box on the left side here to start the third inning. Ron Jans along with Sarzucci. And Sar, you've got some pretty impressive offensive stats to talk about with the top of this lineup. Chu with a little slap. Potts with a great throw and got Chu at first base by a step. Wow, deep in the hole, Potts with a rocket attached to her right shoulder throws out the speedy Ashley Chu.
It's a great play, and it's a great play at first by Russo to extend. Potts has really shown off that cannon a couple times this season. That's a great example of it. She's had a great season, not only on the offensive end, but defensively as well.
This brings Paige Nellis to the plate. Nellis, shallow fly ball, Potts back and under it. And it's been Potts here in the second inning defensively, or the third inning, for the Spartans. So it's happened so quickly. Miskie's thrown 2 pitches, gotten 2 outs. You didn't have a chance to. I mean, if you look at what those top 2 hitters have done, not only for the Eagles but conference-wise.
That's right. The Ashley Chu and Paige Nellis, both of those two lead the conference in terms of hits, and then third is Ella Hoyle. So the top 3 hitters in this conference, all on this Eagles team, and they have all struggled against Lexi Miskey. And Ashley Chu leads by a mile. I mean, 44 hits coming into the day. Paige Nellis at second with 34. Those two also lead the conference in runs scored.
You said struggled, and put an exclamation point on that. I just added it up real quickly. Yesterday and today, those 3 hitters, 1 of 13 against Miskey in the last 2 days.
And that hit that Nellis had was against Deb Misra, too, late in the game.
Yeah, so they're 0 for 13 against, or 0 for 11 against Miskey.
That's right, yeah.
One ball, one strike, 2 outs. Hoyle's on deck. It's up to Ellie Zaire as to whether or not Ella Hoyle gets to bat here in the third inning. Miskey's pitch is inside for ball 2.
Again, remember, Zaire had the only hit on Lexi Miskey yesterday.
Sat on a fastball, got it, and smoked it. Will she get a fastball here? The 2-1 pitch. It's inside for strike 2. Miskey has been outstanding. 106 strikeouts coming into today. So if you add the, let's see, 3 strikeouts that she has today, she's got 109 and has done all of that in 79 innings pitched.
And when you talk about conference leaders, one of the key stats that Lexi Miskey has been so good at over the course of her career is opposing batting average. She's the lowest right now in the UAA. 157 is what opponents are hitting on her.
Ellie Zaire looking for a pitch to hit. And that's not the one. Zaire walked in her first at bat, and she's 1 pitch away, 1 ball away from doing that in her second at bat. Miskey locked in. Ready to offer to Caitlin Lamb, and here it is. And that's a fly ball, deep left field, and Zaire has done it again. Ellie Zaire with her second home run in as many games off Lexi Miskey.
And it seemed like she was sitting on that once again. It looked a lot like the play she had yesterday, also to left center. The only player who's had any success against Lexi Miskey in this Emory lineup so far, and that's a big hit for her. With one of their other best hitters coming up, that might get Emory a little bit of juice.
Almost immediately, as Zaire had hit that, and it was a no-doubter. You knew it was out as soon as it hit her bat. Miskey's first baseman, Bella Russo, came over to her in the circle. She was in the circle before Zaire even got to third base, talking to her pitcher, telling her, listen, that's 1 pitch. That's one hit, it's one run, that's it. That's all it is.
Yeah, and that's similar to what it was yesterday. After that one hit, Lexi Miskey settled down and delivered a near perfect game. So, you know, one hit here in the top of the third, not the end of the world if she can get back to the form she's been playing with all yesterday for the most part and then most of today.
Scores 2-1. Spartans in the lead. We're in the top half of the third, and Miskey is up in the count. No balls and one strike, and now it's 0-2 to Ella Hoyle. After Miskey gave up the home run yesterday to Zare, Eddie and Sar, correct me, was it 14 straight she retired?
12 straight.
12 straight. The 0-2 pitch. We'll do it again. Hoyle struck out in her first at bat. Struck out looking. 402 hitter on the season. Emory's got 3 of their main players hitting 400 or above. Chu, Nellis, and Hoyle. Bisberry, and that's the third out of the inning. Just a solo shot. One hit, one run, the home run by Ellie Zare. And we head into the bottom half of the third. It's Case Western 2 and the Eagles of Emory 1.
Number 11, Bella Russo.
Bottom of the third here from Mather Park. Bella Russo at the plate for the Spartans. Russo on in her first at bat at fielder's choice. Got to second and was stranded there. That was the first inning, the 2-run inning for the Spartans. Here's a pop up to short. And with the sun in her eyes, but sunglasses covering them, Grace Cooper gets the out. She's pointing up to the sky right now with her second baseman and saying, those aren't easy outs. This game started at noon, so that sun is, you know, it's not noon anymore, obviously. We're in the third inning, but that sun is high in the sky and right in the eyes of anybody looking up at a softball that's floating in it.
And the wind started to pick up a little bit more as well, so maybe having to track that ball in the wind plus the sun, that's not an easy task.
Bella Russo had a base hit to left field in her first at bat. Russo yesterday was 1 of 3 with a run and an RBI. That's strike 2. Bach's done a real nice job. She's given up 7 hits in 2 1/3 innings right now. But they have been scattered enough, and there have been a couple of outs at home plate to save runs. And she is very much in this softball game.
And she did a great job in the bottom of the second, bases loaded with 1 out to get out of that with no runs given up.
The 2-1 count, and here comes the pitch from Bach. Slides across the dirt. It's ball 3. Bisberry on the year gets her 7th walk of the season. She's on at first with 1 out. And a catcher coming to the plate, Caitlin Lamb.
Now batting, number 2, Caitlin.
And Bisberry's 1 for 1 today, so on base both times she's been on. And she's improved her batting numbers as well. 305 now on the season.
Lamb, the catcher. Now, typically, a coach looks for a catcher that can handle the pitchers, that is solid defensively, keeps the ball in front of her, a great blocker, has the mindset of a psychologist who can, really work with the dramatic pitchers that are always between the circle. And hitting is secondary. But for Lamb, she's a really good hitter. She's hitting .269 on the season. That's not the gaudy 4-something that some of the hitters have, but in the catcher's position, if you can have somebody who's solid behind the plate defensively to very good and then can hit in the high 200s, 250 and above, that's a weapon. And Lamb has been that. Plus, she's got 2 home runs, second on the team in the long ball.
And it's got 2 other doubles on the year, extra base hits. And those are huge for this team that's already so fast running the bases.
The 1-2 pitch, tempting, but it's ball 2. Bisberry's on at first. Emory with a run in the top half of the third to cut the lead in half. It's 2-1 Spartans. That is a solid pitch, throw back behind the runner, and back safely is Bisberry. Boy, that was a tough pitch to lay off. Lamb did it. 2 pitches in a row she's laid off. Down in the count, and now she's up in the count. The count's full. The 3-2 pitch is inside, and it's called strike 3. I think Caitlin was surprised by the pitch.
Yeah, and it was a good pitch at that point from Bach. That's her second strikeout on the day. And really after that first inning, she's really settled down. I know she's still giving up 7 hits, but as you mentioned, Ron, it just hasn't been enough at one time. She's really been able to get away from those. When she gets 1 hit, forget about it, and just move on to the next batter.
And the next batter is Elena Steffes. Steffes had a base hit in her first at bat in the second inning. Batting here in the bottom of the third. Pitch is 1-1. If Steffes gets 2 strikes on her, you've got to imagine that Coach Henry's going to try to move Barry down to second base, take a shot at a stolen base. And there's a line drive. That's a single. Will it get to the wall? It will. Will Barry round third and score? She's heading to third. She's rounding third, and she's going to come in with a 2-out double that turns into Steffes on at third, and that's a huge run batted in.
And Elena Steffes has been so good this year with those extra base hits. 7 doubles and a triple coming into this one. Just drove in her 7th run of the year, and she's going to be hitting over 400 on the season, including today. Just a first-year player that didn't start in the lineup at the beginning of the year and has just been so good. It's too hard to keep her off.
That is a huge hit for the Spartans and for Elena Steffes.
Yeah, with 2 outs to add another run here, that responds to the solo shot from Zare in the top of the inning.
Jordan Manwarren's going to come in, and she's going to hit for Nyla Durham. And this was a similar move that Coach Henry did yesterday in Friday's Game 1 of this 4-game series.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So Manwarren, number 4, the senior catcher
Ladies and gentlemen.
from Plano East Senior High School. Manwarren on the season in 17 games has 17 at-bats. She's got 4 hits, but half of those hits are doubles. Spartans would settle just for a single of any variety here.
And Marin Warren yesterday also drove in a run. On her only hit, she was 1 for 2 on the day, but she also scored one, part of that big 6-run inning.
First pitch was a strike. Here comes Bach with her second offering. I've really been impressed with Lexi's control today. Her ability to place her pitches. Pitch to spots, change the eye level of the hitter. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. And that's high and outside with a heater.
Again, Bach did a great job getting out of the inning in the second. We'll have a chance to do it again here. Already gave up 1 run, but she's been good about moving past that and just getting on to the next play.
Fastball inside for strike 2. Lillian Ware is behind the plate, keeping everything in front of her right now with a Spartan runner at third base. Soft line to shortstop and an easy catch for Grace Cooper. The inning is over, but 2 out, double by Elena Steffes that knocked in a run. And the Spartans get 1 back, and they lead by 2. It's 3-1 as we head to the top of the 4th. So in the movement in Josie Henry's lineup last inning when she had Jordan Manwarren hit for Nyla Durham, Durham was playing right field. Elena Steffes was the designated player, so Steffes has now moved to right field. Durham is out, and Manwarren will continue to hit in her spot. This is Grace Cooper, who will lead off the top half of the 4th. And Miskie's first pitch is high and outside. Cooper got to second base back in the second inning. She started with a walk and stole to second base. She was stranded there. High and outside for ball 2.
Yeah, Miskey would love to try and keep these balls to a minimum. She's thrown a lot of them today. It seems like it's abnormal for her. Just get back to the pitches that she's been comfortable with, continue to get that rise ball going, and we haven't really seen a lot of the changeup today as much as we did yesterday.
Flare to second base. Kai Gross almost got it. Steffes with a play at first, but it'll be too late for the speedy Grace Cooper. That is a C&I single. Not hit hard, but just hit hard enough.
Yeah, just enough over the glove of Kai Gross, and we've seen her make some athletic plays from that second base spot. It's a perfectly placed ball, and that's something that this Eagles team needed. Just the second hit of the day.
You know, Gross spent the first 3 years as a Spartan playing shortstop. So she has the footwork of a shortstop playing second base. She can get to balls. Showing bunt, nothing's going to happen. Throw behind the runner. And Cooper is back at first base. So good movement by everybody there defensively for the Spartans. You had Potts covering second. Gross coming in behind the runner as Russo and Barry had sold out for the bunt. It's the 1-0 pitch to Klein, and a nice stop behind the plate by Caitlin Lamb. Miskey down 2-0 in the count with a runner on.
And it certainly feels like she's been in this position a lot more than normal today.
Josie Henry's feeling the same way. She's going to come out and talk to her pitcher. I love it when Coach Henry comes out to talk. It's not just to the pitcher. It's to the entire team. This is a consistent scene with everybody in the circle. All 9, along with her coach. Coach Henry with the stocking cap and the ski parka long jacket. It looks beautiful, but it is still a little chilly here in early April. I can say this, it's a lot warmer today than it was yesterday. It's still only in the 40s, but yesterday it was in the low 30s with the wind. That's a beautiful bunt. And out at first base, as Russo goes to Kai Gross. Doing a nice job moving the runner was Sonia Klein. So 1 out in the inning. Kayla Lang will come to the plate. And Grace Cooper's on at second. Emory trying to battle back. Down 3-1. Lost 9-2 on Friday afternoon.
And they haven't led at any point since that 2-0 lead after the home run yesterday.
And that was in the top half of the first inning. Lang, the second baseman, wearing number 9. If you had to pick what you thought the most popular number was, I think 9 would be in the running. It always seems that 9 is a number that everybody wants to have, specifically in baseball. That'd be an interesting, maybe that could be a capstone project for you, Sarzucci. Do you have your capstone?
I do. Yeah, I'm working on it over the course of this semester.
Fly ball, shallow. Fighting the sun is Potts. Karen doing a great job of throwing up that lonely hand, the hand without the glove, blocking the sun to bring that in. Kayla Lang pops up to the shortstop, and there are now 2 outs in the inning, and this brings up Lillian Ware. So go ahead, tell us about your capstone project.
That's right. I'm directing and producing a short film. I'm actually almost done with it. Got about 3 weeks left until the due date.
And the film's topic is?
It's about a priest.
Can you tell us the storyline, or does it, is it under cloak and dagger, lock and key?
Yeah, essentially a priest, a small town priest, has to teach a young girl how to play the piano and tries to convert her while doing that.
Miskey's 0-1 pitch with 2 outs is fouled back. It's 0-2. So, Sar, did this storyline come to you in a dream? Did it come to you one day as you were sitting near the art museum at Wade Lagoon, sipping an afternoon tea? Or when did it come to you?
I think it developed over the course of probably about a month or so. And I'm not really sure exactly what was the inspiration for it, but just a number of iterations of the draft got us to that.
Speaking of iterations, Lexi Miskey has done a great job of changing up her pitches today, and there's another one called for strike 3. We head to the bottom of the 4th. More from Sarzucci when we come back. Bottom half of the 4th. Warm-up swings and ready to hit is Kella Jagoda. The leadoff hitter in this Josie Henry lineup for Case Western Reserve. Spartans up 3-1. Bach still on the mound for Emory.
Great place the Spartans want to be. Kella's 2 for 2. Karen Potts 2 for 2. Kai Gross with a hit as well. So this is going to be a big inning for them. If they can extend the lead, this is certainly the time for them to do it.
Spartans with 8 hits as Jagoda takes strike 1, but only 3 runs to show for it. The combination of timely defensive plays by Emory and the spreading out of those 8 hits has kept the Eagles in this softball game. So, Sar, before the current Capstone Project movie that you're on with the priest teaching the young girl how to play the piano, this is your second movie, right? You had one before this.
I had one that premiered in a film festival here in Cleveland, the Short Sweet Film Festival, about a month or so ago.
The 1-1 pitch to Jagoda. And that's in for strike 2. No! It's low, ball 2. I'm done guessing on the umpire's calls. So tell me about that first film.
That one was a lot different. That one was about a cold caller, an office worker who essentially is tired of the repetition of his job and starts to basically go insane.
Nice job by Bach throwing an off-speed pitch that Jagoda waited on and got some good bat on it, but Bach with an easy throw over to her first baseman, Ella Hoyle, for the first out of the inning. Score that one 1-3, and that brings Karen Potts to the plate. Have you ever cast any of the people that you know on campus? Roommates, friends?
Yeah, in fact, the cast for the capstone film that I'm currently working on is all Case students, including my roommate, actually.
Are you able to pay them in, free pizzas or?
Was able to get some food. We
Okay.
got some funding for the film and
Good.
was able to do that to get, especially some of those longer shoot days, keep them going.
This is Potts at the plate. The count's 1-0. As Sar pointed out, Potts 2 of 2 today. She's got a double and a run scored.
A more typical day for her, the way this season has gone, as opposed to yesterday. Karen Potts is going to look again for that pitch that she likes, and she is certainly going to have the green light.
Game 1 of 2 here today on Saturday. The Spartans and the Eagles will finish the 4-game series tomorrow. Outside, and it's a called strike. Counts 2-1 on Potts. Potts from North Potomac, Maryland. The 2-1 pitch, she waited on it and hits another seeing eye single through the hole at second and first. That's the second time she has kept her hands back and driven a base hit to right field.
And she timed it well. It's very similar to the one we saw earlier, just outside the glove of the second baseman that's laying over there, who was diving for it and still couldn't get a good grip on it. Just smart base hitting by Karen Potts.
So Kai Gross, the number 3 hitter in this Spartan lineup, at the plate with 1 out, and her teammate Potts on at first base. Kai swinging first pitch. Cooper at short. I give all those infielders credit today. The sun is a battle. It is a test, and they've all done very well at it. So Gross pops out.
Now batting, number
2 outs, and Stevie Rieger is now at the plate. Potts is on at first, and Karen on the year is 13 of 15, in case you're wondering, stealing a base.
Yeah, it looked like she was going to go for it on the last one. I wouldn't be surprised to see her try it again here.
There she goes. Pitch is high, throw down in the dirt, and Potts is in with her 14th stolen base of the season. So that puts Karen Potts in scoring position for her teammate Stevie Rieger. Coach Henry just said RBI time. Get your pitch.
Yeah, Rieger's driven in 18 of them so far this season.
Josie Henry, the longtime leader, 13th year of leading the Spartans softball program. The pitch to Rieger is low, and a nice job behind the plate by Lillian Ware. Henry, in her 13 years, she came into this year with 331 wins. She's got 20, so that's 351, and only 172 losses. The 2-0 pitch, Rieger with a pitch to hit, looking for it, didn't get the one she wanted. It's a called strike, but if you're the batter in a 2-0 situation, you're looking for your pitch, the one that you like. Rieger obviously didn't like the inside pitch. Bach with some movement, working away from the hands of Rieger, and it's fouled off. Counts even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2-2, it reminded me of Vince Scully, the story we told last time, which reminds me of Tim Farrell here from the University Athletic Association. His mother grew up a Brooklyn Dodger fan back in the days of Red Barber, and then Vince Scully is the play-by-play guy. Tim's here with a Los Angeles Dodger hat on, and the conversation went, I said, did you grow up in L.A.? And he said, no, my mom is a Dodger fan. So he grew up a Dodger fan. And she remains a Los Angeles Dodger fan, correct? Tim, your mother's first name? Joyce. Joyce Farrell, 87 years old, correct? Did I remember that right? Oh, I shouldn't have said that. You never say a lady's age. My wife has taught me that, and it's something that I forget all the time. But if Joyce Farrell is out there somewhere listening today, we wish you well. And it's fun that you're a baseball fan. So the walk to Rieger puts runners at first and second, and this is Bella Russo at the plate. Pitch is high and outside. You know, I mentioned the success that Josie Henry has had here at Case Western, but Tim's wife, Karen, in the late 90s was the leader of this softball program, and they were very successful under Karen Chambers, who's now a very successful volleyball coach here at Case Western. And I think she's supposed to show up today, right? She already did. And that's why Tim's up here in the press box. The 1-1 pitch, 2 outs, 2 runners on, and that is a ball on the outs. No, it's a strike. I'm 0 for 2 in anticipating the umpire's calls.
It feels like the strike zone's really gotten stretched in this one, too, because that run from here certainly did look like it was a little bit outside.
He obviously has a better view.
Certainly. Certainly does.
Here's the all-important 1-2 pitch. And nobody's going to chase that one.
Bach got out of 3 runners on in the bottom of the third, or bottom of the second, rather.
Bottom of the second, she had 2 runners on or actually just 1 in the third, but that runner, Steffes, was at third base.
That's right. This could be 3 straight innings leaving runners in scoring position for the Spartans.
Fly ball, and that's going to be the third out of the inning. Maybe. Cooper with a real nice play. I tell you what, Grace Cooper at shortstop for Emory.
Had a great game.
Defensively has had a great game. We head to the top half of the 5th in a tight one. Spartans up 3-1.
Leading off.
All right, we head to the top of the 5th here from Mather Park. I can't imagine, and I have no point of reference here for what I'm about to say, because I have not traveled the University Athletic Association and seen the other softball fields. But I can't imagine that there are many that are as nice or nicer than what the Spartans have here at Mather Park. It is just a beautiful setting, set in a neighborhood, campus nearby, short walk from the Knob, which is the baseball field, and the football stadium. Actually, such a short walk that Otto Pennica parks his car in the parking garage or lot at the football stadium and walks here because you're in a neighborhood and parking is along the streets right outside this field. Otto, with his Lamborghini, doesn't want to risk a foul ball breaking one of his windows in his high-powered sports car. So he parks at the football stadium and walks here. True story. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is Abby Seekoff at the plate, the number 9 hitter in this Emory lineup. And Miskey gets her. There's the changeup, Sar.
Yeah, again, haven't seen a whole lot of that today, but that's what we saw a lot of yesterday. She's been very successful with it. As you mentioned, Ron, has gotten better and better with that over the course of this season. That's 5 Ks for her now.
So with Chu at the top of the order, here to hit for Emory. Chu hitting out of that left side. I'm going to bring back my story from India Childs, the manager or head coach, however you want to put it, of the softball team here at Emory. And India, when she was in college, played at the University of Tennessee. She was a volunteer in the SEC. And her freshman year, she was a right-handed hitter who liked to hit the ball. And they liked her. They liked to have her on the field. She couldn't break the lineup as a defensive player, so they said, listen, in the off-season, we want you to become a slap hitter. We want you to go from the left side of the plate. She went and did that begrudgingly, she told me. She said, man, I'm a hitter. I go from the right side. I don't want – I'm going to do this. Okay. So she went to the left side and was very successful sophomore, junior, senior year, so successful that she actually opened an academy teaching how to slap hit. But she said there was one point in time early in her sophomore season hitting out of the left side that she still wanted to hit, swing away and hit. She swung so hard at the ball on a rise ball that she dislocated her shoulder on the swing and said, all right, I'm just going to do it as a slapper, a tight slapper, try to hit the ball up the middle all the time for easy base hits, and she made a career out of it. But earlier in the game, it was Ellie Zaire that I started the story on. Zaire, the power hitter, the three-hitter, swung out of her shoes. Do you remember in her first at-bat, missed the ball, but that made me think of the India Childs reference. So Chu is at the plate, and the count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chu is 0 for 2 today, and you pointed out yesterday, Sar, Chu had trouble with Miskey as well.
Yeah, still in this series has not had a hit off of Lexi Miskey. I mean, has not had a hit overall.
And that's strike 3.
And that's the top hitter, now second top hitter after yesterday in the conference in terms of batting average, runs, hits. She's got all the stats. She's in the top category, but just been a struggle against the All-American pitcher.
6 strikeouts for that All-American here in the top half of the 5th. Lexi pitched 5 innings yesterday in the opener on Friday afternoon, threw 5 innings against this Emory team and had 6 strikeouts. And that's strike 1. I'm looking in the crowd here in front of us, and there are a lot of green and white hats and sweatshirts, and neither team is green and white. The green and white is the Medina Bees, Medina High School. It's Medina Youth Day here today. Kai Gross! Wow! What a play by the Spartan second baseman, and that ends the inning. Gross with great feet, great hands, great instincts. All 3 came together, and that stab of the line drive ends the inning. She gets a hug from her coach, Josie Henry. We'll be back. All right, I have made an executive decision here in the press box with that sensational play by Kai Gross to end the top half of the 5th. And we'll revert back to a storyline that we started earlier this afternoon. Kai's mom and dad had bought a dozen donuts for the press box. You know, shout out to Eric and Lily Gross. So we are going to take the opportunity, with Gross making a great play, to celebrate it and toast it with a donut. So everybody get a donut, and we'll toast to Mr. and Mrs. Gross, and we will celebrate by eating a jelly-filled donut. That's what I'm going to do. If you choose to join me, you're more than welcome to. Listen, the football player next to me is looking at the 3 that are left, and he's saying, listen, I can finish all 3 of those. He's trying to act like he's being nice and saying, listen, does anybody want one? I'll take it or leave it.
Hey, don't forget he already had one, too.
Swing and a miss for the first batter of the inning. It's Biz Berry, the sophomore hitting third baseman. The negotiations continue in the press box.
There's 2 jelly filled and then this one. And neither of us seem to want the jelly filled.
The 0-2 pitch on the outside part of the plate for strike 3. Bach has done a real nice job. She has had a solid game today, I think.
Again, despite the 9 hits, only giving up 3 runs, and she's made timely outs when they've needed it. They've left 8 runners on base as well. So even with those hits coming, Bach has seemed to battle back every single time. And that's a great strikeout there, getting Steffes looking. Or Barry, excuse me.
Caitlin Lamb Is that Caitlin? No, that's not Caitlin at the plate. Kayla Nutter's going to hit. So Nutter is going to pinch hit for Lamb. So Nutter, the senior out of Cincinnati, Ohio, is going to come in and hit here in the bottom half of the fifth in a 3-1 Spartan game. So this is Nutter, number 14, hitting.
She came in last weekend, pinch hit against NYU, and had a double in that Sunday game. So certainly a player who's had a lot of at-bats over the course of her career and can make things happen.
Nutter, 286 on the season. First pitch is a strike. Another thing, back to the pitcher, Bach, she has not been afraid of the batted ball, and what I mean by that is she has not been afraid to throw a pitch that a hitter would like that pitch, the first pitch to Nutter. She went right at it for a called strike to get up in the count. You know, a lot of pitchers nibble so much, and there's a base hit, I think. Nope, Cooper's going to get back and get it. Grace Cooper's been all conference today, I think, at shortstop. She's been outstanding. So Nutter didn't get quite enough on it. That gave Cooper enough time to get back and get it, and there's the first out of the inning.
25, Elena Steffes.
2 outs, Steffes at the plate. All Elena has done today is come up to the bat 2 times and has had 2 hits, including a 2-out double that scored a run the last time she was up. Well, I can tell you this. Steffes is at the plate. She's wearing long sleeves because it's a cold day. She's got gloves on, not only to bat, but to keep her hands warm. And her boyfriend is sitting right next to me here in the press box, in the warm, heated press box, eating his second, maybe 5th donut of the afternoon. So who's got the better end of the deal? Is it Nick Petrucci or Elena Steffes? Now, Nick's a lot bigger than me, so I should probably stop busting his chops at this point.
Hey, he's got to fuel up. He's an offensive lineman.
He needs his carbs. I threatened, jokingly, to take a picture of Nick eating the cream-filled chocolate-iced donut earlier and send it to Coach Debelak. Greg Debelak, the longtime, extremely successful football coach here at Case Western. 2 outs, 2 strikes, and 2 balls on the hitter, Steffes. Spartans with a 2-run lead. We're in the bottom half of the 5th.
And it would be a huge inning for Lexi Bach if she can go 3 up, 3 down.
Two pitch, tempting, but it's ball 3. Jordan Manwarren is in the on-deck circle. If Steffes can work a walk or her 3rd single of the day, or 3rd base hit, I should say, of the day, Manwarren will hit. This is going to be a tough out. Manwarren with speed, bare hand throw, and Elena Steffes is on first with her 3rd hit of the afternoon. That is a base hit all day long.
Yeah, it was tough, and forced Klein to have to go bare hand to even have a chance on that. She didn't even have time to scoop it up in her glove. It's first career 3-hit game for Elena Steffes as well.
So some movement in place. Emory's going to make a change. Their assistant coach is out to talk to the home plate umpire. And she'll now be joined by India Childs, the head coach. Not sure what the conversation's about, but it's something to do with, I think, personnel. Home plate umpire is looking at his lineup card, and the assistant for Emory started the conversation by pointing out her lineup card. If it's about the Spartan batting order, at least in my book, it's spot on. Steffes was at the plate, and Steffes in the lineup has hit 8th, and she was in that 8th spot here in the 5th inning. Now, Coach Henry's in the conversation. She has her lineup card. Manwarren will hit next, but Manwarren came in to hit for Nyla Durham back in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, and it hasn't changed the order. Manwarren was 9th, came in at the DP spot after that. They moved Steffes to right field, so I'm with you, Ron. I don't have any issues in my lineup card.
And Steffes is a DP. She had gone into right field for Durham. So now the third base umpire and the home plate umpire are going to talk more about it. The arguments have been made, and it appears the decision has been made too. And we're just guessing. I mean, I'll tell you this. We're just guessing as to what this conversation is. We could be 100% off on what this conversation is about.
Yeah, genuinely, I'm not sure what.
Idea.
And this is a lengthy discussion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we've seen one this long in a while. I think the crowd here is as confused as we are.
So everybody's going to walk back out to their respective positions, umpires and players, and it appears nothing will change. So whatever that was about, it did not cause change or bring about change. And the situation is this. Spartans have a runner on in Steffes. There are 2 outs, and at the plate is Jordan Manwarren. And this is the first pitch to Manwarren from Bach. And it's a ground ball by the third baseman. Manwarren rolled over her wrists and got one just by Sonia Klein as she stabbed at it. That's a base hit for Jordan Manwarren.
Now batting, number 13, Calla.
It's a big hit because it brings up Kella Jagoda again back to the top of this lineup. The hardest part of the lineup for the Spartans. Another base hit, and we'd have bases loaded with Karen Potts, who's been perfect today.
Jagoda 2 for 3. Single in the first, scored a run. Single in the second, stranded at second, and then grounded out right back at Bach, the pitcher, in the fourth inning.
The Spartans do not want to keep leaving these runners on base. They probably feel like this lead should be a lot bigger than just 2 runs.
Bach has given up 11 hits in the game, but only 3 runs. She has been masterful at just moving things around, separating the hits. She's had some real nice defensive plays behind her. And Emory is very much in this softball game. And that is strike 2. Can Jagoda get the timely hit? Or will Bach escape again? Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Waved at it, out in front of the plate. Bang, bang at first base. Beautiful play by the catcher, Lillian Ware. And we head to the bottom half of the 5th. Spartans still up 3-1. Top of the 6th in Game 1 today from Mather Park. Game 2 will start a half hour after this one closes out. The number 3 hitter in Emory's lineup, Ellie Zare, now at the plate. Last time Ellie was up, she hit a solo shot to left field. One of only 2 hits today that Miskey has given up. She starts her off with an off-speed pitch for a strike.
Elizaire leads this conference in home runs with 7. She's hit 2 against Miskey in this series. She would love to get a base hit here and start this inning off. Emory, as you mentioned, Ron, very much still in this game, but needs to start getting more runners on base, and they've got to get things going. They've only got 2 hits on the day.
Just 2 hits. They've been aided a little bit as far as threats are concerned by Miskey's walks. She had 1 in the first inning. She had 2 walks in the second inning. And actually after that, after the second inning, Lexi has been rock solid, has not walked a batter. Barry at third, right on the bag. That hit the bag, and
yeah, popped up off that third base.
Biz is lucky she still has her teeth. I mean, those are dangerous plays. When that ball hits the bag on either corner, it can go anywhere. So that's a base hit for Ellie Zare. Hoyle 0 for 2. The cleanup hitter. Struck out looking in the first, grounded out to third to end the third.
She came off a great weekend last week, UAA Player of the Week. And she would love to move Zare over to second here.
This is the 3rd inning in the last 4 that Emory has led off the inning with a runner on. And in none of those innings did they score. The only inning they scored was a 2-out solo shot by the runner at first base there. The 0-1 pitch inside, and it's just off the plate for ball 1. Miskey yesterday, 5 innings, gave up 1 hit. Walked 2 and struck out 6. She is now into her 6th inning today. And that's inside for strike 2. She has given up 3 hits, 2 to the same player, Ellie Zaire, who's at first base. The other one to Grace Cooper, who's up next. Hoyle did a nice job of fighting off a tough pitch.
And none of these at-bats have been easy for Emory, but for Lexi Miskey either. A couple walks, as you mentioned earlier. She's just stayed strong so far through these first 2 games of this series.
Miskey's done a great job, not only yesterday, but today. And there's Barry. She'll look at second. Gross to first. Oh, safe at first base. Man, that was tight. Almost turned to double play. And she's out. No. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Ella Hoyle thought. I don't know what Ella Hoyle thought. She came off the bag and was almost walking to second.
Yeah.
Miskey noticed and threw it back to Russo.
Miskey was out of the circle, and I think that Hoyle thought that Miskey wasn't looking, so she tried to get a free stolen base there. That throw nearly got her out as well. They lucked out on the double play twice in that possession.
So Hoyle's on at first. Cooper's at the plate. Cooper, as I said, with one of the 3 hits today, and that's an inside strike. Right under the hands of Grace Cooper. Cooper's been on twice, and she was stranded at second both times. A walk and a single. 3-1 game, top of the 6th. And that's a heater for strike 2. I think Lexi's done a great job today of mixing up her pitches, changing her location, and the sequence of the pitches. The timing of the off speed, the timing of the movement away from the hitter's hands. And jammed her inside, and that's right back to Miskey. And that's the 2nd out of the inning. That is a tough pitch to hit.
Yeah, Miskey got exactly what she wanted out of that. Either you get the inside strike or you're forced to just pop it straight up.
Well, I have to give credit to Caitlin Lamb behind the plate, too, because let's just use that last pitch as an example. Cooper's somebody who crowds the plate. And Lamb, the catcher, a good catcher, is going to pay attention to foot position of a hitter. And pitch location is going to be dictated by that oftentimes. And, twice in 3 pitches, they win it inside under the hands of Grace Cooper. And the last one, they got her to pop up. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs, 3-1. Spartans with the lead. We're in the top of the 6th. Sonia Klein at the plate now, 0 for 2 on the day. Actually, technically 0 for 1. She had a sack moving the runner Cooper to second in her last at bat. Struck out swinging in her first in the 2nd inning. And that is a fastball that Klein did not have a chance at. I think Sonia was not looking heater, and she just waved at it.
Yeah, we see that a lot from Miskey, especially 2-1, get back to the pitch that you like the best. And, as the batter, you typically have a green light there, and I just think she was expecting a different sort of pitch there.
Rise ball for strike 2. Miskey looking for her 7th strikeout. Counts even at 2. There are 2 outs. And here comes the pitch. We'll move to full. Up next would be Kayla Lang, the second baseman. Good pitch. Good at bat by Sonia Klein.
Another long one, and we've seen Lexi Miskey do a great job in some of these long at-bats today. Earlier, in the game, it was a couple walks given up, but since that second inning, it's really been in favor of Miskey.
And again fouled back. Lamb's going to look over the catcher at Josie Henry, her coach. She'll get the pitch call on this full count offering. Josie Henry, of course, a very successful pitcher as a collegiate athlete. The changeup was the right call. 7th strikeout of the game. Spartans will head to the bottom of the 6th, trying to advance their 3-1 lead. Number 12, the shortstop, Kieran Potts, ready to step into that left-handed batter's box as we start the bottom half of the 6th. Wind is blowing across the field from left field to right field right now. Enough to ruffle the American flag and the Spartan flag that sits beneath it on the flagpole in straightaway center. Potts on the day, 3 of 3. Double, scored a run, double to left field in the first. Single to right in the second, stranded at first. Single to right in the fourth, stranded at second. Looks at the outside pitch. It's called for strike 2. Kieran Potts on the year. Came into today hitting .392, and she's 3 for 3, so that average is obviously increased. 415. Fast Eddie Caracas tells me. That's why I call him Fast Eddie. If you're a fan of MASH, and that's a show from a long time ago, and Eddie Caracas certainly isn't old enough to know it. Potts again to second base, and this time Kayla Lang gets her out. If you're a fan of MASH, that old show, Colonel Potter was the guy in charge of the MASH unit, and there was this, I don't know what his official title in the Army was, but his name was Radar O'Reilly. And he was a corporal, Corporal Radar O'Reilly. He was like an assistant for Colonel Potter. And Radar always had the answers for Colonel Potter before Colonel Potter would even ask him. And that is Fast Eddie Caracas. Fast Eddie Caracas has the answers before any of us have even asked the question. So we could start calling him Radar. Fly ball, deep, left center field, near the warning track, and in for the out is Ashley Chu.
Yeah, it's a nice play by Chu to track that down. That ball was coming down quickly into that sun, directly into that sun almost. She's looking. That's a great job getting to it.
2 up, 2 down here in the 6th. Stevie Rieger at the plate now for the Spartans. Rieger on the afternoon. Officially 0 for 1. She had a sac fly that scored a run in the first, fly out to left. She flew out to the second baseman in the second inning, and she walked and was stranded at first in the fourth. That's a base hit. Rieger saw the first pitch. She liked it, and she hit a line drive into center field.
Now batting, number 11, Bella Russo.
Russo, the left-handed hitting first baseman. Bella 0 for 3 today. Fielder's choice and 2 pop-ups to Cooper at shortstop. Rieger's on at first. And I think Stevie's going to go early in this count. And there she goes. You could tell by the body language that she was going to be off for the races. No throw, and Rieger's in safely.
Again, the team is so good at timing up when to go for those stolen bases. Rieger, I think, knew as soon as she got on base that she was going to go to second.
Rieger on the year, 14 of 15 in stolen bases. So she's in scoring position, and the Spartans would love to add to their very slim 2-run lead. And that is a fastball for a strike, too. Russo, the junior, very comfortable hitting in an 0-2 count.
And the Spartans have left now 10 runners on, most of those coming in scoring position as well. They really would love to get a base hit, at least extend the lead. Haven't scored now since the 3rd inning, and for them that feels like a long time.
Fastball away from Bach. And that's a base hit. That is up against the wall in right field. Russo's double with 2 outs and 2 strikes scores Rieger. And the Spartans improve the lead to 4-1.
It's the 3rd double of the year for Bella Russo, and it comes at a great time in a perfect position, too, getting it all the way out to right field. And that gives the next batter, Biz Berry, a chance to advance her runner to 3rd or potentially all the way home. A base hit could score another one here.
Bisberry at the plate. High fastball, ball 1. Berry 1 for 2 this afternoon. She scored a run. She has a base hit and a walk, and she was struck out looking in her last at bat.
These are the type of innings, even though there's 2 outs on the board, that the Spartans have been really good at over the course of this season, getting in a rhythm as a team and extending their leads, and done a lot of damage with 2 outs.
They certainly have. There have been some key 2-out hits in this game. Counts even at 1 on Bisberry. I can say this. Bach's got some pop still left in that fastball.
Certainly, and she's over 120 pitches now and still pitching well, really. I mean, she has all game despite giving up 13 hits. It's been a good performance from her.
She has struck out 3 and walked only 2. Here comes the 2-1 offering. And that's turned over, ground ball to 3rd, and it's a foul ball. Sonia Klein at 3rd base for this Emory team. Defensively in this game, just 2 seniors out there defensively for Emory. If you look at first-year players, you've got one in Klein at 3rd, one at shortstop in Cooper, on the mound in Bach, behind the plate in Ware. Counts even at 2. So that's 4 first-year players in the starting lineup. 2 sophomores, Hoyle, the first baseman, who's been outstanding, and Chu, who's just all around in left field and at the plate. 1 junior and 2 seniors for Emory. Young softball team. 16 wins on the year for the Eagles, but they're down 1 game and approaching down 2. That's a base hit. A 2-out, 2-strike, back-to-back base hit for the Spartans of Case Western. This time it's Bisberry.
Yeah, double by Russo, single by Berry, and that's what we were just talking about. Once they get going, it doesn't matter what the scoreboard shows. 2 runs, even though there's 2 outs, and the Spartans are going to continue swinging.
Sorry, you had mentioned that coming into this inning, they had left 10 runners on base and many in scoring position. But this inning, they're making up for that a little bit. They are doing real well right now.
Certainly, and that was something they needed to do to extend the lead, put some more pressure on this pitching unit, whether it's Bach who stays in. I know we mentioned she's very high in that pitch count, or if they're going to make a change, you want to put as much pressure on the pitcher, especially if you do get a closer here. Make it as hard as possible for them to get out of the inning, and it's certainly always harder when you've got runners on base.
So some changes being made with Case Western right now. Josie Henry with her lineup card out talking to the home plate umpire. He will tell Coach Childs, Emory's coach, the changes that are being made. Boy, the Spartans just wear you down. I mean, this has been a tight game the whole time, but the Spartans have, just worn Emory down. And suddenly now, as we're heading into what will be the top of the 7th, it's still in the bottom of the 6th. A 2-1 game is turned to a 5-1 game. So Bach's going to come out. And what a game she pitched. She got a round of applause from the Emory fans here, and it was well-deserved. Isabel Cohen will come in and pitch, and she pitched at the tail end of yesterday's game as well. She pitched in relief of Mackenzie Duford. So this is Cohen on the mound, and for Bach, she's still responsible for the runner on base, Biz Berry. But if you look at what she did, she gave up 14 hits, but she had limited the Spartans going into this inning to just 3 runs. And she had struck out 3 and walked 2. So her day officially isn't over because Barry's on at first base, but Cohen is now into pitch. And hitting for Case Western, coming in to hit for the Spartans, will be
number 22, Isabel Cohen.
I believe that's Kaylin Zuzai.
Zuzai will come in to pitch. Kaylin, a first-year infielder from Texas.
Now batting for Case Western Reserve, number 29, Kaylin Zuzai.
So Zuzai's going to hit for Lamb, who actually she's going to hit for Nutter. Nutter had hit for Lamb in the 5th. So this is the second straight time that Coach Henry has used a different hitter in that 7th spot in her lineup. Zuzai on the air, 14 plate appearances. She has 2 hits. Cohen's first offering is outside for ball 1. Barry is on at first. She is there with a 2-out RBI, the second of the inning. Russo was before her, hit a double with 2 outs to score a run. One ball, one strike. This game started at 12 noon. It is now a little bit after 2. Sar, you and I talked yesterday after the Friday afternoon game that you and I both think that these games this year have gone longer than typical.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why. I feel like we've had today at least a lot of long at-bats, and maybe that's just been what's extending the games. But certainly does. I mean, the Spartans here at Mather Park especially used to ending games under 2 hours, under an hour 45 was pretty much the regular.
That second strike on Zuzai was so far in the left-handed batter's box, but it was called a strike. And Cohen naturally thought, listen, if you're going to give me that one for a strike, I'm going to throw it even further into that left-handed batter's box. I'm up in the count, and that one was so far outside that it was called a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Barry's on at first. Zuzai's at the plate, and here's the offering, and Zuzai stays alive. Sydney Branham, the assistant coach, bringing some foul balls to the home plate umpire. Branham, pretty good pitcher in her day. Cohen looks inside the Emory dugout, gets the pitch call, and here it comes. In the dirt, and gets by the catcher. A wild pitch, and off to second base. Standing is Biz Berry.
Here you go, another runner in scoring position, full count. Barry will be off as soon as this pitch is thrown. And Zuzai has a chance with a hit here. Send another runner home, extend the Spartan lead.
Counts full. My voice reverted back to puberty Ron there for a second. That's a solid line drive caught in right field by Abby Seekoff. What a catch by Abby in right field. We head to the top of the seventh. Spartans 3 outs away from their 21st win of the year. We'll be back. So Jenna Yaklich has come in to pitch for Case Western. As we go into the top half of the seventh, Yaklich, number 15 in the circle for the Spartans. This will be Jenna's 8th appearance, 7th in relief. She has thrown 12 2/3 of an inning. She has given up 9 earned runs. She's struck out 7 and walked 3. Her earned run average is 4.97. Saw Dev Misra finish game 1 on Friday night in relief of Miskey in a 9-2 game. And this will be Yaklich who gets the duty this afternoon in game 1 and a 5-1 Spartan lead. Jenna's going to take off the wristband off her left wrist.
And she'll have a new catcher as well. Jordan Manwarren, who we saw pinch hit earlier, is going to be catching for her. So 2 seniors who've played a lot together.
Spartans 3 outs away from win number 21. Kayla Lang, the second baseman, will lead off the inning.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for Case Western Reserve, number 15, Jenna Yaklich. Now catching for Case Western Reserve, number 4, Jordan Manwarren.
So it's Yaklich and Manwarren, the battery for the Spartans here in the 7th inning. And that is strike 1 from Jenna. Kayla Lang 0 for 1 on the day. She walked and was stranded in the 2nd inning. And she flew out to the shortstop in her last at bat. This one will go to the third baseman, Biz Berry. So if you're Yaklich, you come in and you just pound the strike zone. Team's up 5-1.
That's right. That's all you got to do. And at this point, too, you want to force these players to just pop up in the infield like we just saw. Those are the type of contacts on the bat. I don't want to say hits, but type of contacts you want to give up here. Get ground balls and just get your team some easy infield outs, and that would be a great way for Yaklich to wrap up this game. That's what we saw a lot of when she got the start on Sunday against NYU. It was a lot of infield plays that these shortstop, third base, second base, these players are going to have to be big.
Lillian Ware, the catcher, now at the plate. Counts even 1 ball, 1 strike on Ware. Ware in the day 0 for 2. Flew out in the 2nd inning to first base and was caught looking for a strikeout that ended the 4th. Yaklich, the 1-1 pitch, and that is right down the middle for strike 2.
Yeah, nice one, just dropped in there and froze the batter. Those are the types of pitches, Ron, that you just mentioned that you want to see here. Just close out this game. Don't give them anything hittable.
Jenna coming right at her teammate, Manwarren, behind the plate. Jordan doing a nice job of blocking that pitch in the dirt. Counts even at 2. Emory came into this series 16 wins and only 8 losses, and they are 1 out away from losing their second straight here at Mather Park. I said earlier, UAA play, overall wins, Case Western with 20, Emory with 16, Washington University with 14. Those are the top 3 teams in the association as Ware works a walk. WashU beat NYU yesterday.
Now batting, number 24.
Brandeis and Carnegie Mellon
Seekoff.
were weathered out. And obviously all of those teams playing today. Abby Seekoff now hitting. Seekoff, the number 9 hitter. 0 for 2. Pop up to the third baseman and a called out on strikes in her last at bat. 0-1 count. Yaklich on the mound. Seekoff at the plate.
And she showed bunt a couple times today. We saw it in her earlier at bat as well. And try and just advance the runner there.
Gonna run up and slap at that one. It's strike 2.
And if Seekoff can advance a runner to second and go back to the top of their lineup, I know Ashley Chu has struggled in this series so far, but it gives them more of an opportunity to claw back into this game. This is the last chance here in the top of the 7th.
Seekoff staying alive at the plate. Count remains 1-2. Seekoff, a senior. Her and Paige Nellis, just the 2 seniors that are in this starting lineup for Emory. Laid off that one, and the runner advances. Counts 2-2. The thing about slapping is you can attack the softball, meaning move up in the box with your footwork, advancing in the direction of the softball. You can actually run down the first base line a little bit. But if you keep that bat pulled back, you're not going to get called for a strike. It's not like you offered it anything. It's a true art. Learning how to slap, learning how to control your hands and the footwork. Count is full. Yaklich pitch. And Seekoff doing a real nice job of just flicking the pitches that she doesn't want.
Yeah, that's an advantage with the slap hit, too. It's easier to just poke your bat out and let one of those go for a foul ball.
Seekoff in the middle of the batter's box. Here comes the pitch from Yaklich, and that is strike 3. What a great job working for Jenna Yaklich. Staying focused and tough at bat with Abby Seekoff, and she got her swinging.
Yeah, and a beautiful pitch there for the strikeout to get a little bit of movement, get her to chase that one. It's a pitch that she hadn't, or a spot rather, that she hadn't found so far in that at bat, something that she hadn't seen. That's something you get to when you put in a closer here at the top of the 7th. Batters aren't used to who's out there, and they don't know exactly as much what spots the pitchers will like to hit, and that was an example of it there.
India Childs is out to tell the umpire that she's going to put in a pinch runner at second base. So Lillian Ware, the catcher, is going to get pinch run 4, and coming in for Emory will be Leslie Berg. 23 or 3? Or 13. It's got a 3 on it.
Yeah, it looks like it's Natalie Swift.
Oh, it's Natalie
out there.
Swift.
Saw her yesterday.
So Swift's going to stand at second base, and she, as Sar said, was in the starting lineup and played in game 1.
13, Natalie Swift. Once again now batting for Emory. Number 1, Ashley Chu.
So here's the leadoff hitter, Chu, with the speedy Swift on at second base. Emory's down 4. So if you're a Spartan, all you're worried about is the person at the plate. That runner at second base means absolutely nothing.
Again, Ashley Chu, one of the top hitters in the conference, has not gotten one so far in this series. This would be a huge out for the Spartans if they can end her day here in game 1, still without getting her not only a hit, but keeping her off base.
2 pitches from Yaklich, and she's up 0-2 in the count. If you're a left-handed hitting slap hitter, you almost live in the world of an 0-2 count because you're so selective, you're aggressive, advancing at nearly every ball, but this is very familiar territory to someone like Chu. Here comes the pitch, and it's high and outside.
Yeah, it didn't chase.
Most slap hitters feel so confident in their ability to control the barrel of the bat, and in other words, put it where they want it, that being down 0-2 early in a count doesn't even sway them. Now the count's even at 2. Yaklich's pitch, and that's hit to third. Barry up with it. Got her at first. Biz Berry will end the game on a power throw from third over to her first baseman, Bella Russo, to get the speedy Ashley Chu. 1 game in the books, and it's a Spartan victory. They win 5-1. They improve to 21-2 on the year, 6-0 in league play. Emory will drop to 16-10, and now 2-4 in league play. Sarzucci?
It was a good first game, and I'm excited for the second one. We had a lot of great plays, a lot of good offense, and a lot of great pitching for certain from both teams. So 2 new pitchers will come out in the second game, and it should be another fun one.
Got to bet we'll see Kylie Hosey. The Medina Youth Softball Organization is here today, and Kylie's a Medina grad. That's coming up in game 2. We'll be back in about 30 minutes. Thanks for watching.